Hi, this is Colin Triplett with Mint Condition Fitness in Los Gatos, specializing in fitness over 48, and today we're talking about the Plantar Fasciitis Fix. Now, plantar fasciitis is kind of a junk term, so it doesn't necessarily mean that what we're going to go over today will fix if you have various reasons for having plantar fasciitis. So you may want to get it checked out with a doctor, chiropractor, or whoever. But what we found is a lot of times what people call plantar fasciitis or gets prescribed or a diagnosis of plantar fasciitis is just a weakening or a tightening of the tissue of the bottom of the foot. So plantar fascia is down here. So what can we do in the gym to fix this? And so a lot of times people will come in and tell us, oh, I have plantar fasciitis. And within a few weeks, they're feeling a whole lot better because we're just doing some very basic work with them. So I'm going to show you a 5-step plan that can help you to fix it or at least improve it. And again, if you aren't seeing improvements, please go see somebody because there may be something else going on. But again, a lot of the people that come in saying plantar fasciitis, telling us that that's what's going on, this is a good fix for them. So the first thing is to have something that you can do some tissue work on your foot. We like these little guys. And at first, it's just as simple as putting one foot on the ball and doing a little massage work. So I'm just rolling back and forth, basically from the ball of my foot to the heel. You don't have to go on top of the heel, but kind of where the heel meets the tissue. And so I'm just going up and back, and the key here is that I want to make sure that my foot doesn't turn out that way, that I keep it slightly turned in as I roll back and forth. And again, as you can see, I'm holding onto a wall, helping with balance. This isn't a balance drill. I'm just trying to put some pressure in and go back and forth over that tissue. What we then like to pair it with is some sort of mobility drill for the foot. So what I would then do after doing a single foot roll is something called a ball of foot circle. And I'm just going to put pressure on my front foot, and I'm going to somewhat massage the ball of my foot. So I'm just going from one side of the ball of foot to the other. So I'm coming across one way, and then I can go the other way. In a way, I'm drawing a circle with my heel, coming up off the ground and then back to the ground. But again, if you just think of it in terms of massaging that tissue across the ball of your foot, that can be a good place to start after you've done the single ball roll. After that, then we can progress to a double ball roll. So again, that's why we like having these two together, because I can come on here with both my feet, and just like I was doing with a single foot, I want to make sure that I turn my feet out a little bit. So we like to say, make sure your big toes are touching, but your heels are apart. And now, same thing. I'm holding onto a wall or a post or whatever, and I'm just rolling back and forth, trying to keep my feet together. And so, again, now I'm just getting a little bit more pressure in there, and I'm loosening up the tissue. After that, I might do something called a toe wave. And so, generally for that, I like to sit down and start with my toes pulled back. I'm going to curl my toes down, and I'm going to try to curl my foot down. Now, if you do this too soon in this process, you'll probably cramp up pretty well, especially if you do have what feels like plantar fasciitis. So make sure that, first of all, you go gentle the first time. Don't try to squeeze as hard as you can. It might be as simple as just a very small movement, but ideally we want to curl the foot down, and then pull the toes back. Curl down, pull the toes back, and you can go the other way too, where I extend down, so my toes are pulled back as I push my foot down, and now I curl up. So now we would go the other way. So again, I've now done a more difficult tissue work. I'm doing a more difficult mobility drill. But the idea is that once I have more movement and my tissue is moving better in my foot, I need to use that movement in some way, or else it's just going to go back to the way it was. So this is a good one for that. The last thing that I would say is once you have decent tissue work, you've done some mobility drills, then we can start strengthening the feet a little bit. You're already strengthening the feet anyway because of what you're doing on the ball, but now the question is, can I come up, keeping my ball foot on the ball, but how high can I get my heels? The higher the better. So if I can come into this position, and now my feet, my toes are having to work to keep me stable here, and then I can come back down, I can roll forward, roll back, and then come back up onto the ball of my foot again. The last thing I'll say about this is that the type of shoe that you wear can play a big role in this as well. And a good rule of thumb is the thicker the sole, the more likely you are to have problems, because those big, thick, cushiony soles give you no support. And so when your foot has no support, it starts contracting to try to create support, and that can cause a problem. So the more minimalist of a shoe you have, the better, but this can also help to undo some of the problems that you might have. Just going to a minimalist shoe doesn't always solve the problem, and a lot of times may actually feel like it flares the problem because you're taking a foot that's totally unstable and putting it into a different setting that it's not used to. So start working on these things as you start to feel better, maybe get a different shoe, and then it doesn't happen again. So I hope that helps you guys solve some of your plantar fasciitis problems, and if you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks so much.